without further ado, of course you know this gentleman from Kim Possible. Of course you know this gentleman from Batman Beyond, Guardians of the Galaxy, Transformers, Boy Meets World, Girl Meets World. Please, Tampa Bay, show your love and appreciation in the way that I know Tampa can. Please give it up for Mr. Will Friedle!
I think we are the first panel of the new Tampa Megacon.
I know.
Yes!
I think
First one.
some sort of award.
I think we should.
We get to break champagne.
That
on,
would be
like something.
awesome. I love that. There are a few seats in the back if anybody needs anything. We are good. There's one on the left. We're good to go.
How many? Have you been doing cons a long time now? Or?
No, it's just about a year. Like 1 year I started to do them, and at first they were like, "Will you come and do one of these conventions?" And I was kind of like very shy, and I'm not sure. And then I had so much fun, and I was like, "When are we doing more? When are we doing?" I love talking to people and seeing the costumes, and I mean, if I didn't have to, that's not even have to. If I wasn't sitting out there talking to the fans, I'd be here for every panel, like listening to it, and asking questions, and like, Mitch Blakey, I've got a question. Yeah, I would be doing that the whole time I was here. So I've got like 3 sheets of questions for Neville Longbottom because some stuff didn't make sense, and I've got to ask him some things. I'm that guy in the green room going like, yeah, I'm just hanging out having a soda. So in book 4, yeah, that's me.
I have a highlighted copy.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a moment of your time.
Yeah, I've got 35 quick questions for you.
So is Harry Potter the thing that you're like the utmost nerd about, or like what are you?
No,
if you had to pick top nerdery.
My top nerdery easily is epic fantasy novels.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like nothing better than reading book 1 that's 1,000 pages, knowing it's going to be 15 books long. Like that's knowing I can immerse myself in a world for like a year is the greatest thing ever. And then having to wait for the books is the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
I'm not saying there's any authors out there that make you wait, but some make you wait. And it's mean. And so, but that is my fantasy novels are my ultimate nerdgasm.
There's one author, I don't want to name names, but his name's George Martin. And I see him posting these football blogs, and I'm like, dude, right? Like I want somebody to go to his house and like kill his Wi-Fi connection.
He said Wi-Fi. I know where you thought he was going to. I'm glad you said Wi-Fi. Kill his Wi-Fi connection. Absolutely. Yeah, and well, that's what. Yeah, I always look at David. You know David McCall. So he does all the great kind of thing. He has a shed on his property where he just types, and there's no internet access. There's no he writes by like burning lamp oil. So that's what writers need to do. If you're going to get us involved in your stuff, don't get distracted. I mean, we're waiting for the 3rd in the Kingkiller Chronicles forever now. So it's. I don't know if you guys have read any of that, but it's just like, oh, we're waiting for the 3rd one to come. And I'll see him on, because I guest star on a show called Critical Role occasionally, where it's a bunch of voiceover actors get together and we play Dungeons & Dragons. So it's phenomenal. You think it's not, but it's phenomenal. And I've talked to so many people like, I would never watch that. And then they come up to me later again, they're like, okay, the episodes are 5 hours long, and I haven't slept in a month. But I'll see him guest star, and I just want to yell through the screen, like, keep writing, I need to see what happens next. So yeah, I can kill you.
Did you ever try to write your own fantasy epics as a kid?
I did.
Terrible?
Yes and yes. I tried both those things. Well, it all started for me when I was in the 3rd grade. A woman named Lynn Reed Banks came out with a book called Indian in the Cupboard, which was the greatest story. 8 years old, about a toy chest that when you turn the key, they come. It was the greatest thing ever. And then that just led me to Piers Anthony and David Eddings and all these great kind of fantasy novels. And then now I'm just a junkie where my wife doesn't like it. It's just books and books and books. And like I get my one little room with all the books that she still tries to keep in some sort of order. And I'll come in and be like, "Hi, you have Wheel of Time in with Mistborn? Like, what are you thinking?" And she has no idea what I'm talking about, so it's pretty funny.
Well, actually, I have to bring that sort of aside from the fantasy. This might be the first time this transition's ever been made.
Okay.
But have you heard back from Drake yet?
I haven't.
Fill everyone in.
Okay, so it's funny. I have not talking about fantasy. I haven't, and I'm waiting. So Drake, the big pop star Drake, his new world tour is called the Boy Meets World Tour. So I tweeted him saying I'm available to be a backup dancer. And I have yet to hear anything, or it might have just gone into spam. I don't know how Twitter works 100%, but no, I haven't heard back yet, and I'm still available. I would sing, I would dance, I would do whatever it takes to be on stage with the Drake guy.
Yeah.
I hear now he's dating Taylor Swift, so that would add to having fun backstage. It's just a whole thing. I don't know.
I think the internet has the power of making it happen.
I would hope so, because the internet's got a lot of powers that I did not know were possible until you hit a button and they go, oh wow, this part of the country hates me. You have no idea.
Do you ever have these moments where you're just kind of firing off a tweet, thinking it's funny, sending it to Drake, and then you see that BuzzFeed runs an article and you're like, oh crap.
I do. I have had those where I did. I looked up and I was like, oh, they wrote about it. Okay, so there is a chance he's actually going to see this.
Yeah.
But you never know. I mean, it's the power of the internet, man. The worst is Ben Savage, who played Corey. Anytime he does anything with the internet, he can't bring himself to push the button to send it. So he'll do something and he'll walk around with it going, I don't know if I And then finally he'll come up to one of us on set and be like, all right, Ryder, just push the button. And somebody will have to go up and push the button. He's like, all right, well, it's away. And it's so stressful for him to actually send something into the universe. It's very funny.
Well, and with Twitter especially, since you cannot edit tweets, it feels like once it's out there, you can't really take it. You can't even delete it, because if you delete it, it's almost worse.
Yeah, and the second, I've had things where it's just, and the only reason I've ever done this is because I'll misspell something or auto-correct something, so I'll go and delete it, and the first tweets that come back are like, nope, snapshotted your original one, here's what you said. It's like, I just misspelled it. I used there instead of there, my mom's gonna kill me.
Well, we've seen some politicians try to follow that same tact.
Yes.
And
yes.
kind of on that note, I hear, I don't know if you can confirm this, that Eric Matthews is running for president
He is.
2016.
Eric Matthews is on the ballot for 2016. He's officially running for president.
And you have 5 supporters, too.
We do. Well, that's more than I expected, to be honest with you, which is great. But he's got to run because it's time. And yesterday's tomorrow is today.
Give us a glimpse into in that bizarro world universe where Eric Matthews actually gets elected.
Yeah.
What is that first 100 days going to look like? What would he do?
It depends. I think for the first, campaigning is very difficult, I've been told. Again, we just started our campaign maybe 3 days ago, but it's already very rough. I'd like the first 3 weeks off. So some kind of vacation would be nice to get everything started. Inauguration of the 8 balls, that'd be fun. But then, I'm thinking Hawaii.
Okay.
Something like that. Orlando is beautiful this time of year. Something like that. So then I would come in and I would fix the world, because that's what needs to be done. I don't have to tell you how I'm going to do it. None of the other politicians do. So why do I have to tell you how I'm going to do it? I'm just going to tell you I'm going to do it, and that's the way it's going to happen.
You've got big plans.
I've got big, huge plans, apparently other people are telling me.
Yeah. I like that the October surprise for the campaign is the campaign itself.
It was the campaign itself. Well, if you go, Eric Matthews' first campaign ad is actually up, so you can actually go see the campaign ad. And he gives a very, very good reason of why it took him so long to run. It's because he didn't actually know there was an election happening. But now that he does, he's ready to run.
In the ensuing years, I'm curious, there's got to be some interesting scandals in the Eric Matthews world.
See, I don't know. I don't know if there's scandals so much as people kind of going, he what? They're not bad things. I mean, he's got a heart of gold. He never lies. He's that person that everybody wants as president. But, he's not adverse to eating 3 pizzas himself. That kind of thing. Things where if there was video of it, people might step back and kind of ask what's going on. But that's one of the major reasons that I'm down here right now, is because Eric is picking a running mate. We don't know who it's going to be yet. Right. I was thinking Neville Longbottom, and apparently he's not from America.
So
I don't think it should stop me. There's a number of people on the short list. Space Ghost is one of them. Batman, of course, is one of them.
Oh, right, yeah,
George Clooney's wife is somebody that's up there. There's a number of people that are being vetted right now for the position. Frankly, I think an Eric Fonzie 2016 ticket would be phenomenally great. Thank you very much. But we have to see.
I feel like, yeah, it's in the works right now. You don't even have to pick just one. I mean,
No, see, I don't think there should just be one vice president either. I think it should be rotating based on whatever is kind of hip at the time. Because there's that saying that vice presidents are famous but unknown. So why not make every vice president somebody that's like, hey, this week, Drake is vice president. This week it's Taylor Swift. Oh my God, look at that! Adele is vice president for a week. I think it would be amazing, frankly.
You should have put that message out to Drake. Be like, okay, I'll do the backup dancing and/or singing.
Oh, I drop out of the race right now if I could back up dance for Drake.
Yeah.
I think most people would, so it would be that kind of thing that I think would be very cool.
There we go.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and throw it to the audience. You guys have some questions, and at least one of you do.
Anybody? Anybody at all?
Come up to the mic so we can all hear you.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Can I count on your vote? Great.
Always.
I don't let people answer. I just say great.
I was just curious, when doing Boy Meets World, where did the Feeny call come from? Was that something, I know obviously it was written, but did you develop that yourself or did someone give you direction?
So like everything else on Boy Meets World, it starts as one thing and kind of evolves somewhere else. So I actually have the original script where it first happens. I think one of the first times it happens, I went to Michael Jacobs, who's our creator and executive producer, and I said to him, it was, I don't know, probably our 8th or 9th episode, I said, I'd yet to have a scene with Bill Daniels. I would really like to work with Bill Daniels. And so they wrote an episode where Mr. Feeney's niece, who's played by Kerry Russell, came in. It was my first on-screen kiss. Our teeth bumped. I was mortified. It's a whole different story. 16 years old, mortified. So they gave me a scene with Bill, and it just says in the script, Eric walks to Feeney's fence, and then the next line is just Mr. Feeny. That was it. So it's just me yelling Mr. Feeny. And it kept being that until I started making it longer and longer and longer and longer. And then there were scripts that would just say, Eric walks to Feeney's fence, Feeny call. So that just kind of became like, all right, we know that it's supposed to be one line, but it's going to take 9 minutes with Will doing it. So it just kind of evolved to get longer and longer and longer. And then just became kind of a thing, which was weird. And then people always ask me, will you do it for me? Can I hear the Feeny call? Can I hear it? And I say no to them now because when Girl Meets World started, then Rowan and Sabrina had to do it in an episode. So to back the story up just a little bit, I did a show called Thundercats, which was a great cartoon we did for a while. And it was based on a 1980 show, The Thundercats. And the man who did the original voice of Lion-O did the Thundercats. Oh, this big one. There you go, the one guy, yeah. So when I got the part, he then played my dad, but he came to a convention and they said, can you do the Thundercats call? He said, I'll do it one more time, and then I'm passing it on to Will because it's his now and I won't do it again. So when they gave the Feeny call away, I went in front of the audience, I said, I'm gonna do it one more time, and then I'm giving it to the girls. So I officially passed the torch to the girls, so it's theirs now, yes. Thank you. Thank you. There you go, see, that's better anyway. That's better anyway.
All right.
I do like that your lightsaber was security checked. So
Yes, we know it's not real.
Yeah.
I am also a huge Star Trek fan, so what's your question? That's the response you want. There you go. Now it turned Sith. Don't start with me. It turned him Sith like that. I love that. There we go. Wow. That's pretty awesome.
Okay, now I'm neutral. Anyways, Mr. Will Friedle, it is quite an honor to see you. My little sister and I, we grew up watching Kim Possible together.
Thank you.
I loved you as Ron Stobble. I also loved you as Terry McGinnis and Batman Beyond. Anyways, my little sister couldn't make it to the convention, so this question is coming from her to me, and I'm passing it to you.
Okay.
How did you feel when Ron ended up with Kim when Kim Possible ended? Did you think they were a couple match made in heaven, or?
I personally felt like it gives everybody hope. Especially as a guy, because you meet a lot of guys that say things is like, she's out of my league. There is no such thing as leagues. And two people who like each other, that's just what, you hear that, especially with guys. I'm sure girls probably do the same thing, but guys especially are, I can't talk to her, she's out of my league, or way out of my league. There's no such thing as leagues. And Ron Stoppable is the perfect example of how there's no such thing as leagues, and if it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
All right.
So I'm glad they're together, frankly. It gives us all hope.
Thanks. One more quick one.
Don't point that thing at me.
All right. How did you feel that there wasn't a 4th season of Batman Beyond? Were you disappointed when Warner Brothers canceled it?
It was, yes, but we weren't really canceled. We were and we weren't. I mean, we weren't on the air anymore, but we knew going in that we weren't going to do a 4th season. There's certain companies that only do a specific number of episodes and then they're done. Kim Possible is a perfect example. Kim Possible was the first show in the history of the Disney Channel that the fans got on for a 4th season, because Disney Channel only does 3 seasons of a show. And the fans went so nuts that they brought a 4th season back, which was unheard of. So we knew going in that 3 seasons of Batman Beyond was going to be it. We were just happy to get the movies like Return of the Joker and stuff.
Love that one.
It was great, wasn't it? Yeah. So we're hoping that, we keep hearing there's possibilities, but I like the fact that every time somebody asks Bruce Timm, who's the creator of Batman, if you could do more episodes of any one of your shows, what would you do? And he always answers Batman Beyond. So hopefully, we never know, but we've been hearing that for years. So I'd like to think, maybe.
I'll keep my fingers crossed.
Please do. Live long and prosper.
Yeah. May the force be with you.
Well, let me actually follow up with that. Because when did you realize that? I remember when Batman Beyond was first airing, and it was certainly before nerd culture was quite like this.
Sure.
Before it had really broken mainstream.
Yeah, before the internet was really the internet at all, yeah.
So when did you sort of get word or kind of get the awareness that this thing wasn't just tracking well as viewership, but had really made a mark in the landscape?
It was years later. It was, with conventions and the internet and things like that, you started to realize that it was this long-lasting kind of thing. I thought, because you personalize everything, so as important as the show was to people, to me it was just, I got to sit there with Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill and all these people every week, and it was the coolest thing ever. And then the show would come out and people would go, hey, your show's great. And, hey, thanks. But didn't really understand the lasting effect that it had until, I come to places like this and there's people with Batman Beyond memorabilia and all these artists drawing this stuff, and people coming up and going, oh my God, did you hear they killed Terry in the comic books? And it mattered to people, which is, I think that's awesome. So we had such a fun time doing that show that I'd love to do more, frankly. I think we should do another movie like Return of the Joker. I think we should do one more. It'd be awesome.
In the wake of something like The Killing Joke, which we saw sort of go. I guess not.
It's Star Trek guy, don't worry.
Would you want to see more of a PG-13, older skewing Batman Beyond movie? Because Return of the Joker was already pretty heavy in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Well, they had to release it twice.
Yeah.
They put it out, and then they put out the uncut version. It's tough to say. Because I look at something like Batman Beyond, the episodes that we did every week, and I think that's a perfect example of how you don't have to go. You can go crazy dark. You can go great action. But you don't have to go spewing blood all over the place and that kind of thing. And I think that's one of the reasons why it appealed to people, was that it wasn't, I think it's not just in film now, but I think in television as well. We're coming to a darker kind of place as a society, and I don't think it's necessarily a great direction that we're going. Television shows are getting to be where, you turn on these CSIs and stuff, and they're great shows, they really are, they're excellent television shows, but they start with a close-up of a charred body, and it's like, oh God, there's times I want to sit down and I want to turn on, Family Ties again, and Cosby Show, and shows that were they were family-oriented, good television shows, and that's one of the reasons why I think that Girl Meets World kind of hit a mark with people, is because it's like that old school 80s, 90s show where it's, it's not crazy people doing ridiculous things. It's what used to be cheesy is now what I think people are longing for, is 22 minutes, learning a good story, good family, whatever that family is, but good family, and I really think that's missing. So I think, frankly, to get back to your question, something like the Batman Beyond episodes was the perfect example of how it doesn't have to be rated R. You don't always have to see how far you can push it before people get squeamish. If there's a good story and hopefully good acting and and the great animation that comes with it, awesome music that was in the show. I think it's been proven time and time again that that's all you need. And Killing Joke's a perfect example. Those are all my friends that did it and acted it and everything. The acting is phenomenal, and the story, it didn't really resonate with a lot of people. It just didn't really hit with them. So I hope there's a pullback on that a little bit, and we get to more of the PG kind of area for some of the stuff out there. I think we need a break from a lot of the kind of super violent stuff that's out there now.
Yeah. I will say the Return of the Cape Crusader with Adam West.
The new one that was awesome, right?
Yeah, really good.
I've heard that. That's a great example of that too.
Hi there.
Hello. Hello, Mr. Friedle.
Hello.
Good job with Matthews for president.
Oh, thank you.
I'd actually like to ask, what week does he have blocked off to have Terry McGinnis as the vice president?
Wow, a Terry McGinnis vice president. Now, would it be a Terry McGinnis vice presidency or a Batman Beyond vice presidency? Because that would be kind of cool, taking the oath of office and just with Batman Beyond standing next to him, kind of sitting there just shooting batarangs out at people. You will listen to Eric Matthews. That would be cool, yeah.
That would actually bold.
Yeah. I'm gonna need some artist out there to draw Eric Matthews taking the oath of office with Terry McGinnis just looking over his shoulder. That would be great.
Like an epic Alec Ross.
Exactly. That would be so awesome.
It's a secret identity. He can probably manage to do it twice and no one else would know.
That's a good idea. Terry McGinnis as vice president. I love that. I think that's Shui. Yeah.
I tried to not pronounce that like that.
Love that.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Great question. Now it's another one to put on the short list. Man, being a politician's hard.
I know. I mean, I'm a little bit skeptical about the constitutional merit of having Batman as a VP, but
I don't see what we're
It's totally American.
Yeah, so exactly. How can it not be? We can't have an animated VP? Come on.
First of all, I'm completely starstruck. I grew up with.
He's great, isn't he?
He's so calm and impressive. But mostly, other than Kim Possible, Batman Beyond, I grew up with Boy Meets World.
Thank you.
And I still watch it today because it's hilarious. But my question is, and it always kind of got me as a kid too, at what point,
Did Eric turn stupid? That's your question. I get that all the time. At what point did Eric turn stupid?
He goes from lady killer to plays with squirrels. It's kind of in between there. And
There is.
What?
The funny thing is, there's actually somebody on the internet wrote this entire dissertation about an episode where Eric he's smart and the lady killer, and I wish I could remember the episode, I can't, but he's trapped in a car in the snow with a woman. And he's trying to be heroic. He goes, I'll get you out. He slams his head up against the window and he knocks himself unconscious. And he wrote this entire thing about how starting the next episode he was stupid, so it was actually internal hemorrhaging that caused Eric Matthews to be that stupid. Like, he was like, no, there was obviously a subdural hematoma that's been slowly bleeding into his brain, and that's why so it became a thing. The actual answer is far more unfortunate for me as a human. And that's yeah. When you start doing any show, they write the character, and then you get there and you act the character. If you're lucky enough to be on a show that lasts, they start writing for you. And they realized that I'm just the goofiest, dorkiest, wackiest. I'd like to think I'm not an idiot, but I am one of those guys, like, I'll walk into a door and go, there's a door here, and I'll hit it again. Yeah, so they started writing for me, which is why Eric kind of went, there was an interview with Michael Jacobs where somebody had asked, is Will really like Eric in real life? And he said, not entirely, but his quote was, when I asked him to play, what was the word he used? Imbecilic? Something like that. He said his capacity to do it was so overwhelming. So that's what I like. I like the big, and I also think at the time of Boy Meets World, there was a certain time there in the middle, in like 5th, 6th seasons, kind of around there, where the more dramatic teenage shows were coming out, like Dawson's Creek, and I Don't Wanna Wait, like those kind of things were coming out. And Boy Meets World, at least in the A story with Ben and Danielle and Ryder, they would kind of have those kind of things, and then they cut to it, and it's like, and here's Eric. And so it was that, like, hey, can you just do the funny stuff because in this episode they're drinking or they're doing something. You remember Ryder was an alcoholic for one episode, I think. Like literally one episode. It's like, ooh, he's got a drinking problem. But so then it was just, then it's like Eric, all of a sudden, I remember the culmination of it was Eric being able to predict the future when he sneezes. So it's just, I remember Matt, I'm in I have this image in a football helmet of Matt Lawrence slamming my head into a dumpster to get the lottery numbers. That's when I knew we'd hit a point at the show. Where they might be running out of stories after 7 years right now, but it was. That's unfortunately the honest answer is I started as an actor doing what they wanted, and then they started writing for me.
I did have something else real quick.
Yeah.
Is Plays with Squirrels an ordained minister?
Interesting. Plays with Squirrels is a minister of life.
Okay, so that works.
I think that's what Blood Plays with Squirrels does.
Could I pay him an acorns to marry me? Do something.
To perform the ceremony? Or to marry you? Because that's going to take a crap ton of acorns. Okay. I think Plays with Squirrels would absolutely perform your ceremony. I think he would. I think he would do that.
Well, you can tell her thank you for that.
Wait, who?
Getting there.
Are you guys together?
Yeah.
Are you engaged?
Getting there?
Oh, okay. Did I just make it uncomfortable? Where's this going?
Eventually.
Okay, eventually. As someone who very, very recently got married, eventually doesn't last. Like, you can't just keep saying that. I know, it's great. Oh, it's great. I'm telling you.
I've already been married once, you know.
Are you guys down here in Tampa?
Oh, yeah. We're up in Perry, Florida.
Okay, well, I just got to know where to send Plays with Squirrels, because he's got to get his beard longer and all that stuff.
It might bump into us a few.
Okay, that's good. Well, I think it's possible that he could perform the ceremony.
All right.
Thank you.
You know, there's always a moment during every Comic-Con. Get a little bit weird.
I haven't heard it yet. We're all with me so far. No, we've angered Star Wars kid. Seriously, it's like a giant mood rock. It's just changing color. Ooh, he likes that. There we go. Likes that answer. Hi. Oh, Batman socks. Awesome.
First of all, I just want to say thank you for making my childhood so memorable with full of laughs in my house. And
That's
I'm sure
very sweet. Thank you so much. That's very sweet.
Throughout the course of your career, like, what is your most proud accomplishment?
Wow. Oh man, that's a great question. Jeez. I've done some. I should put it this way. I've been very lucky, and I've been allowed to do some pretty amazing stuff.
Yes, I would.
I mean, there's certain films that I'm proud of. I mean, we had so much fun doing, like, we did a movie called My Date with the President's Daughter, which was yeah, we did some great times, but because of people like you, no joke, who come up and say, like, oh my God, you made my childhood so special, it's difficult to beat Boy Meets World. I mean, it was, we were all, you hear this, and you hear this from other actors that sit up here, and it can become trite, and a lot of them are faking it when they say it, not all of them, but a lot, but we really were a family. I mean, we were all kids. We all grew up together. We did it together. We were with each other every day, essentially, for 7 years. There's times we liked each other. There's times we hated each other, but we always loved each other. We're always there for each other. Even if tomorrow I was cast in the world's next biggest show, The New Friends, it's the #1 show on television, that might be amazing, as an actor, but I don't think anything as a person will beat the experience of Boy Meets World. It was really incredible.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming to Tampa.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. I can't get over, by the way, I just have to point this out. The gentleman wearing the blue with the hat on, you right there, not only the place, I'm not even pointing out the Plays with Squirrels, I'm pointing out the fact that you look exactly like my best friend, Jason Marsden. I have looked up 100 times going, when did Marsden get here? Amazing. So I just wanted you to know that.
Well, congratulations on your recent marriage.
Oh, thank you very much. Congratulations on your eventually engagement.
No pressure.
No pressure at all.
How come you can't find any copy of HE double hockey sticks or My Date with the President's Daughter or anything like that?
I think what's funny is, we do a lot of signings here, and the people will come up and it'll be like, they'll bring up a VCR, like a VHS, My Date with the President's Daughter, and I'll sign it and I'll say, do you have a VCR? Can you watch it? They're all like, nope. I can't even see this movie. Like, I literally can't even watch this movie. No, I don't think, it's funny because of all the stuff I've done, for some reason, and I can't explain why, HE double hockey sticks is my mom's favorite. And she's, I don't know why we can't we get this on the DVDs? And I'll go, I don't know, Mom. I know, they never put it out. So yeah, no HE double hockey sticks and no My Date with the President's Daughter. Eventually, I'd like to think they'd come out. People keep saying, when are they doing the reboot of My Date with the President's Daughter, where Hallie and my character were married, and it's our son or daughter that are then dating the president. So, well, with all the reboots nowadays, you never know. We could be seeing that one soon, but yeah, I don't know why you can't get HE double hockey sticks. We get in touch though. Yeah, Matt Lawrence and I acted out ourselves every Friday. So you can come see the live performance. It's usually just for us. It's in our home, but it's we hit most. And Rhea Perlman is in it still, which is weird. Oh yeah, well I'm missing this performance. I'm being understudied today. By Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen are understudying. It's good.
It is on YouTube, so I watched it.
Is it? Okay, good. There you go.
It's still in pieces, so.
Is it? Oh, is it? It's like the 5-minute clips where you kind of.
I think maybe about 10 minutes.
Okay. It was fun. We had fun shooting that. Yeah, we shot that in Vancouver. Yeah, we shot that. It was a ton of fun. Thank you.
Thank you. Howdy.
Hey, so have you ever actually played with squirrels? What was it like? If you haven't, what deterred you?
Great question. And here's the strange answer. I have several times, and here's why. So we shot at the Disney lot we did the first 2 seasons of Boy Meets World at the Disney lot, and then the last season. And it's literally Disney, so we're convinced that the animals are animatronic, because you literally sit on the grass and all the squirrels come up to you and they eat out of your hand, and they sit like we're waiting to hear like la 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 la, like, and the birds fly down and tweet on your shoulder, because they do. They have no fear of people. You sit down with a sandwich and they just run up and they sit on your lap and you feed them. It's crazy. So I have played with squirrels, and that is not a euphemism. Just so you know. I have, in fact. Nothing deterred me. They're cute, and my dog loves to play. Well, chase them until he can't breathe anymore is his version of playing with them. So, but yeah, we love the squirrels in my family. Big fan. Thank you. Good question.
Yeah, you get like the James Lipton Award for like the best delivery of a
question ever. Excuse me, exactly.
How do you play?
And if not, what deterred you? That was awesome.
Hello.
Hello.
I just wanted to know if in the movie Trojan War.
Yes. Oh, you're the one who saw it. Okay, good.
Did you do all your own stunts?
I did most of them, not all of them. There's a couple that were beyond me. Like there's one where he gets hit with the water cannon and he goes all the way down the stairs, so that was my stunt double, because that was like getting hit with a water cannon and going all the way down the stairs. So there were certain things that I did, being thrown around a little bit, the tree branch breaking thing. I remember George, who was the director of the film, George Wong, who I'm still working with, who filmed the Eric Matthews video that's up right now. He is like, all right, get up in the tree. We gotta do the thing. And I'm deathly afraid of heights. So I was like, no. He's like, no, you gotta get up in the tree. I was like, I do not. And so after some cajoling, finally they got one of those crane things where I'm like holding on like this as they're carrying me up into the tree. Everyone's laughing at me the entire time, of course. But yeah, heights. Not a big heights guy myself. So to answer your question, some of them.
And then I wanted to know, what was your favorite behind-the-scenes memory filming Boy Meets World?
Oh wow, that's a good question. Behind the scenes, there's so many of them. We were just there all the time. Actually, the behind the scenes, my favorite behind the scenes memory, one of my favorite behind the scenes memory, kind of translated into on camera, which was we did an episode of the show that everyone else, it's called And Then There Was Sean, we just called it the Scream episode, which was, it's kind of unilaterally our favorite episode of the show. And it was one of the first, if not the only episode we ever did without an audience. So it was just us, and our goal through all of us that entire week was to just make each other laugh as much as possible, which is great to have fun and really bad to shoot a television show. Our director was yelling at us, "What are you guys doing?" Because we just kept trying to crack each other up. So if you actually go back and watch the show, you can go, "Oh, Danielle's laughing. Oh, Ryder's laughing. Oh, wait." So we certainly, that week was a ton of fun. For another reason too, Matty Lawrence had just kind of joined the cast, and he got along with us right away, but that episode we were all together really kind of brought him into the fold and really made him part of the family, and yeah, that was fun. We had a really good time doing that. And then little moments that I got to spend with Bill. Bill Daniels kind of took me under his wing, and you know, I always say my dad taught me how to be a man, but Bill Daniels taught me how to be a professional. You know, he was that guy who never missed a mark, and if his call time was 9 a.m., he was there at 7:30, and he never treated us like kids, not once. Even Lily Nixay, when we started, was 5 years old. It's like, you're not kids, you're professional actors, and this is your job. So yeah, little stuff like that will always be what I'll take away with me.
Thank you.
Thank you. You've clapped every time, and that's just sweet. Every time. Hello.
I have a question by proxy.
Okay. Hi, Proxy.
He would like to know if we're going to see you more on Girl Meets World.
There is one more episode of Girl Meets World coming out that actually has everybody in it from Girl Meets World. Unfortunately for most Girl Meets World fans, it's called Girl Meets Finale. No. We don't know if it's true. We don't know if that's the end, but it's a big one that's coming out with everybody. Yeah. I'm great in it though. Very funny.
And then I have a quick question. I love Geek and Sundry and Critical Role.
Okay.
I just want to know if Eric Matthews were going to design character creation,
Okay.
what would he play?
Wow, he would be a pizza-eating critic. See, he's not even a cleric because he would mispronounce cleric. You really got to know Eric Matthews to get that joke.
I was thinking bard.
He would be a bard, but that would be too close. Eric would want to do something so out of the realm that he would make something that would be impossible to play, impossible to control, and somehow end up getting the rest of his team killed within 3 rolls. That would have been Eric, I would imagine. Thank you.
So we've got about 5 minutes left, so I want to get through you 3 guys, and then we'll wrap up.
2 guys and a girl.
Oh, okay, yes. You all.
Well, hello. As many people have said, thank you for Boy Meets World, because my brother and I grew up on it, and we like to say that we learned important life lessons from the show.
That's awesome. I love that. I love that.
So, Eric's my favorite character.
Of course.
One of my all-time favorite scenes or episodes is when he has the roommate with the dead bird. And, absolutely love that episode.
That guy, yeah. Oh, I remember that. That's right, yeah.
And the dead grandma at the end. So.
Yeah, I remember that.
Just with that in mind, like, are there any scenes or quotes that people bring up to you the most besides the Feeny call?
Besides the Feeny call, the one I get a lot of things. The one I get quite a lot, which is great for somebody who deals with anxiety like me, is sneak attack. So people jumping out and going sneak attack. I'm like, oh God, thank you for that. I get sneak attack a lot, and then people often bring up the bloopers at the end when I'm stuck in the couch. That was the other one that we get quite a bit. It depends. It's amazing because everybody, I always like to, and people are going to go, anybody who knows television is going to go, what, are you kidding me? But there's similarities to me between Boy Meets World and MASH. Hang on. Because MASH is my favorite show ever, and here's why I would say that there are similarities, is because anybody who's a diehard MASH fan, they all have their specific type of MASH they liked. Like, some people liked when you had Colonel Potter and Frank Burns on at the same time. Some people liked the later ones with Winchester. Some people liked the first ones with Trapper. And I think it's the same thing with Boy Meets World. Some people liked when Eric was kind of the ladies' man and it was younger. Some people liked in the middle when he was funny and goofy, but not to, and then some people like at the end where it's like he's got serious mental issues. So there are people so people will come up with their own, and, oh God, I loved this part of the show. Like, I'll still get things like, oh, I loved when you sang him happy birthday. Stuff like that. So it all depends on which part of Boy Meets World you liked the best. That'll answer that question.
Right, awesome. And then do you have a favorite scene or quote that you like the most from Eric?
Do I? No, sorry.
Oh, me? I was like, yeah, my favorite scene ever, I mean, for different reasons. One of my favorite scenes was I love when we had that much fun and we were laughing hysterically. So that whole episode of Sneak Attack with the couch scene and in the tree and in all that stuff and in the American Standard painting, like all that, and then jumping out. That was a fun episode to do. I had a great time doing that. My favorite quote of the show is not an Eric quote. Actually, my favorite quote of the entire show is a Sean quote, where it was from and then there was Sean the Scream episode, where they say, only virgins survive. And I say, I'm dead. And Jack says, I'm dead. And Ryder says, I'll get as sick as I can get without actually dying. And I still think that is one of the most brilliant lines ever. I thought that and Ben and Ryder together, Feeny opens the door and they're standing right in front of him and Ryder says, don't move. Maybe he doesn't see us. Those two moments are two of my favorites, yeah. Thank you.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
I almost wore that same
All right, and just like everyone else said, thank you so much for Boy Meets World.
Thank you.
And about your voice acting work, are you allowed to talk about any upcoming projects or any favorite projects you might have done?
Favorite certainly. Upcoming, there's a few things coming out I'm not allowed to talk about, but there's still, we've got some new, some Transformers that are coming out, some new stuff there, and, certain episodes of certain shows that are certainly coming out. Certain episodes of certain shows that are certainly coming out. That's impressive. There's that. There are a few things that are coming out that are very cool that I'm not allowed to talk about. But as for favorites, I mean, Batman Beyond, all the major ones are, Kim Possible are all my favorites. But at the same time, my one-offs, kind of where I got to go and play for a day, Deadpool and Ultimate Spider-Man was a ton of fun. That was really a lot of fun. And then I just did one again for Ultimate Spider-Man where it's Star-Lord as a pirate, the Sea Lord, which just came out, and Seth Green plays Howard the Duck, and we're all kind of together, and that was a ton of fun. So there's a lot of really fun ones out there. And then being Bumblebee on Transformers is cool, just because it was from my generation. I was born in '76, so those kind of shows when I get to say that I'm Lion-O from Thundercats and Bumblebee from Transformers and Batman. It was the only thing I didn't get was He-Man and G.I. Joe. So He-Man and Mask, which people don't remember that show a lot, which is a great show. So I want to be Matt Tracker in the next iteration of that. But those were my favorites, I think.
Cool.
Thank you. Oh, what do you got? You got another one? Sweet.
Like, from Batman Beyond, where some of the kids thought it was cool to go feral, if Terry could, what do you think he would go feral as?
Meaning, when they were spliced as that kind of thing? I would hope some form of bat or something kind of mean. Wouldn't it? Would end up he'd be like a platypus or something, and then the suit wouldn't fit, and it would be weird. Yeah. Thank you. Is this a Critical Role question?
Yes, sir.
Sweet.
I got into Critical Role this year, and when I was rewatching 50-plus episodes, and I found out you were going to be on, I was so excited.
I'd like to point out for the audience, the 50-plus episodes at 4 hours an episode.
A lot of late nights.
Yeah, that's what I said.
That's how great.
Haven't slept.
I just wanted to know, what was it like getting to do improv with your friends and getting to create a character that was...
It was awesome. First of all, I'd never played before. And Matt Mercer, who was on Thundercats with me, who played Tigra, which is how he and I got to know each other, he came up and said, hey, do you want to come and play Critical Role? I went, heck yeah. And you talk about improv, I didn't realize how much Dungeons & Dragons was just an improv class with dice. It's all it is. So once you get into that, it's awesome. I mean, Mary McGlynn, who plays Zara, she and I we're starting our own game up. So we're going to be having, a bunch of our friends coming. If anybody who hasn't played Dungeons & Dragons, I hadn't either, and you get sucked into it. It is so much fun. If you get a chance to check out Critical Role, I don't blame me though if you get into it, and next thing you know, you are downloading 75 hours worth of stuff. They just did a thing where it's even though they've only been on for a year and a half, they have more content than The Simpsons. that has been on for 30 years because they do 5-hour episodes, 4 and 5-hour episodes every week. So it's Thursday night, Geek and Sundry, Twitch channel. Check it out. It's awesome. But yeah, I had a blast. Thank you.
We're going to wrap up the panel, but you can go see this guy. He has a photo op at 6:30, I believe, and he'll be here throughout the weekend.
Yeah, come say hi.
Stop by his table and say hi. But Tampa, you're